I'm Trevor Barone. I'm with Ideal Impact Media, and this is Austin. He's going to be speaking as well today, and Brian is over here helping us run some slides. So that was a great presentation before on website SEO and kind of getting your marketing started. We're going to go a little bit more specifically into video and production. So we're going to talk about some things that are really intense and really broad and really big at what we do, but also how to apply it yourselves and in your own businesses. So let's go ahead and jump in. So you see, these are some of the questions. These are the things that people come to us and initially talk to us about. The customer acquisition, right? You cannot run a business without new customers, and how are you going to obtain those new customers? Usually, often it starts with people who already know you before you were maybe a professional full-time business, and they might be friends, family, people who are begging you to go into business, but eventually you have to find customers who don't know who you are, and how are you going to find them, right? That's where the customer acquisition comes in. How can I get proven, predictable customer growth, right? That's what drives a business, gets you to sustainability, helps you reach your goals. We already talked about the website, social media, but they're stale, they're mostly text. How can I communicate to future customers that I'm professional, knowledgeable, the right fit for them? We're going to talk about different types of content that are going to help you reach those goals. Some people, we work with a lot of contractors. They hate taking photos and videos of themselves in their own business. So I understand that. We love working with them because there's so many cool things that they can show off, and we're going to show you how we do that. I see my competitors running successful sponsored content campaigns. So there's a difference, right, between organic and just posting and actual sponsored campaigns. We're going to really talk about more the production side than the analytics of distribution. I see my competitors. Oh no, here we go. Can't AI solve my content problems? I think people are starting to realize AI is cool, right? It's great for sending nonsensical, funny pictures to each other, and it's good for analysis. In fact, I encourage you to go to the next presentation by Keith. He's going to talk a little bit about what AI can do and what it cannot do. But I think people are coming to the realization that the production side, real business, is done with authenticity, right? They want to see faces. They want to see people. They don't want to see computer-generated slop. How can I collaborate and promote my clients and referral sources? So we'll show you some content on that front. That's the easiest, fastest way to do things organically. How can I educate my customers so they can be happier and more successful? It's not just about getting more customers, it's about getting the right customers, and the ones who are actually educated are going to cause you a lot less problems. You're going to be a lot happier with them, and you can do that with video. And then how can I improve my SEO? And I think people get that now, right? Google owns YouTube. YouTube transcribes their videos. That content that's actually in those videos will go directly to your SEO if it's embedded and hosted correctly. So the customer journey, the conversion funnel, is this a completely new concept to anybody, or has this like been beaten over your head for the past few years? Like, you probably have heard of this, seen it a little bit, but it's still important, right? We still need to realize where are our customers, how are we getting them from not knowing about us, possibly not knowing what problems they have, down to ultimately buying, from you, and then eventually being a referral partner with you and sending you new business and helping you grow. So I'm not going to talk about it in detail, but obviously this is the customer journey, the customer conversion funnel, and there's different types of content that work for where those customers might be, right? We talk a lot about humor. Humor is great for grabbing attention, maybe not great for, once you're down to comparison, to actually converting customers, but it's great if they don't know about you, and it's an easy way to get a lot more impact with an ad, with your ad spend, is by having things that are really funny and bring awareness. And then as you work your way down, things that are more logical, things that are more comparison, things that are more like how it works, not what you believe in, or just a funny association with your brand or your name. Okay, let's go on. Connection questions, just like we talk about. People want to connect. The more they can connect with a brand, the more they're willing to be loyal to them, the more they're willing to spend with them. So that's where video is really unmatched, right? Especially with text and still images. Now they're easier and easier to fabricate. The real connection is with genuine type of content, and video is there. So the other really important question is, where is the attention of your audience, right? Which platforms? And that changes a lot. So you have to think about that. And one of our first questions is always, okay, you know you want to make a video. Where is this video going to go? And who is your customer, right? Having those conversations. Let's go to the next one. Benefits of content. You know, you've heard me talk about this: brand engagement, authentic connection, share passion, pride, and process. Let's keep moving. So HubSpot has, and you'll actually see in multiple of these, a lot of the research I did in putting this together and updating it for this year, I actually did on YouTube. So YouTube is its own resource. It's a search engine. It's not just a place to go watch videos. It's actually valuable information where people are looking to learn and grow and also find new products and services. So HubSpot has this video. They say measuring and managing conversations with AI. There is a use, like we already talked about, long form storytelling and info deep dives are having the biggest impact right now. First party data and content for audience. It's the old school email lists and offers are an essential part of leveraging video. It's not just about posting it. It's not about just running ads on videos. There is actual, you actually want to be leveraging some of these other contact points. Looking for valuable and entertaining content, be a creator and educator in your industry. You can start to do the targeting and distribution with AI and shift from Google to social platforms for search and product services. The good news. So there are some things about social media that are getting less scary, right? The retention is getting a little better. The whole like brain rot editing is actually dying. Maybe not amongst like 11-year-olds if you have some children, but we're starting to see less of this just like spazzy explosions and weird stuff going on. People want to hear stories. They want to gain valuable information. And that's where people are going online. They actually have money to spend on you and your businesses. And we'll talk about this right here, high volume on target. That's scary, right? It's like, oh, I gotta be posting 3-4 times a week or a day. Well, if you have long form content that has storytelling, valuable information, you can repurpose that, and we'll show you some examples. And then content stacking. So leveraging newsletters, outbound contacting to drive traffic to your channels. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this because we're going to show you some examples later. Fillable content guides. So these are things that I have put together on starting you on your journey to create some of your own video. So we do production. We will do writing. Austin's going to talk about storytelling and some writing stuff. But if you're like, where do I start? How can I start leveraging video? I have these for you. So you text me, or I'm sorry, you email me. That's probably the best way to reach me. Then I will send you these and you can just delete my examples and you can write in for your own business. And I have 3 ready to go. So you have no excuse. Where do I start with video? Well, you got a phone, it's got a camera on it. And you've got exactly what to say. You just have to change it to your words instead of mine. And you can get started right there. And then as you grow and you're ready for the big time, you see how it's working, you know, then you talk to us and we'll make sure you look extra amazing and you sound great. Let's go to the next thing. Okay, so we're actually gonna get into a little bit of content. I'm gonna talk about maybe the first 1 or 2, and then I'm gonna have Austin up here. So pause that for a second. So there's a wide range of different types of content. First one you're gonna see is a more traditional TV type ad, something you would see on television. And it's a large production cost, it's a lot of resources. And this is what we do, but we're gonna kind of scale, we're gonna start there and then we're gonna work our way into a few other things, okay?
In life, there are no stupid questions.
You wanna try some dessert?
But what's the theory?
There are, however, questions that need to be answered only once.
Okay.
Kokiri, seek the adventure. Please enjoy responsibly.
So the production cost for that is pretty high, right? Most businesses, local businesses, this may not be within reach for them within the next 6 months, 18 months, maybe somewhere down the road, right? They're looking for a fully produced commercial like that, but that's more of a destination. That's not maybe where you need to start. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how you can start today. So let's go ahead and move on. So this one is more of just a behind the scenes. We do a lot of weddings, I'm a wedding photographer as well. And it's us working with a client. This was not a lot of sophisticated stuff. It's some, nicer editing, but nothing that most people couldn't do possibly with their phone, somewhere along these lines.
How you doing? I'm Trevor. Nice to meet you. Made it. We're gonna grab a few things. We're gonna grab some whites. There's a lot of cool areas right over there. Yeah, come around a little bit on my side. Get it out now. Just got a cheap area. Oh, there you go. That was really good.
Okay, go ahead and pause it. So the visuals of this are also our B-roll, and we're going to talk about B-roll versus A-roll, but showing what you do may not be super interesting to you because you do it every day. In certain types of businesses, there are certain things you cannot show about your clients, but people want to know who you are, what you do, how you talk to people, how friendly you are, how knowledgeable you are. So think about what are some behind the scenes I can get this week and start to get my message out there and show off what we do. Okay, yeah, turn that down just a little bit. That's okay, just play it, it's very short. Next one. There we go. Okay, that's good. So that's just like, here's a music video, right? There's no A-roll to it. There's no narrative, there's no storytelling. It's some name recognition, but you want to think about what do people actually want to get from what you're talking about. And the first thing is, if you have decent audio, you've thought about the storytelling, that's going to go a long way, and you don't need a lot to make that happen. And then the rest of it is just some of the visuals, and some of it is a little flashier. That was a really cool intro that Austin put together, and that might be out of reach for somebody to do on their own. But it was literally one drone shot and cool graphics. And it's just to give a little bit of branding. And so these are some of the still images that are combined with like regular posting for the same business. Go ahead and next one. Then we're going to talk about another contractor, and then I think this might be the pipe surgeons. Oh, no, it's not. So this will be the last few. Go ahead and pause it. So this particular, go back though. Just turn it down so I can talk over it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this client, they do all these things that we talk about, right? And there's a couple different pieces. This is the A-roll of the owner talking about how great they are, how much they love taking care of their customers. I happen to be a customer, and he's showing me this stuff. So you'll see my hands in a couple of things. I'm a hand model. And they're installing the carpet. Now we're getting a testimonial from one of their other customers saying how easy it was to work with them, how great they were, how affordable they were, the communication was amazing. And each one of these aspects is an important part of a brand film, but they can also be cut up into smaller parts. And so that's what I really wanted to kind of show the longer brand film. That's like 2 minutes. And then you're going to see vertical snippets that are smaller, right? We're talking about repurposing content. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so this is cut from the same commercial, but it has, it has captions. So if people are watching it on Instagram or Facebook, they don't have to hear it. If they're sneaking it in between work and it's like just happens to pop up, but it's repurposed snippet. It's not the whole commercial. It's just one little bit about it. And so that one commercial could turn into 3 or 4 pieces. I just want to talk about, so this is another piece from the same commercial. Just go ahead and play it.
We believe communication is key.
So all these parts you saw in the other commercial. Okay, keep moving. But you gotta be careful. Some testimonials, people get a little crazy. So I just want to let you hear the honest thoughts of this gentleman while we were getting his testimonial. Go back.
That the people here, the people working for here are trying to do a job, but their hands are totally tied. I'm looking forward to calling this place quits and getting back to my home. They are limited what they can do because of limited personnel due to management I'm truthful. I'm gonna be truthful. They're cutting back, they're reducing their forces, and they want more people to do more work than what they can do. They don't have the time to do it. Saturday and Sunday, no rehab whatsoever. You just hang around and do nothing. Well, we've had some problems here.
So I guess this guy didn't think we could just edit things, and he just kept talking and telling us all about it. So the good thing is we're still going to edit it, right? You could still always cut things out, but that was one of the funniest testimonials we ever tried to get. He didn't make it into the video at all, but the last thing I want to show you is a long form type of content called a show. Well, it's our show that we do for different businesses, and then how we cut it up, and then I'm going to pass it off. So go ahead and let's take a look what we got here. Oh, we got another brand film real quick.
I'm an electrologist here at a Bare Necessity, and what I love about this place is having a client that's been struggling with something about
All right, that's good.
themselves.
Good. So this is a show setup. Go ahead and turn this down for a second, because I just want to see a little bit of it. I don't want to hear the whole thing. Okay, go ahead and play it. So this is a little bit of how we set up the lighting. Austin's going to explain where things are in certain areas, and you get to see a little bit behind the scenes of how we set up a show. I'm going to give you an actual example of how a show is cut, and then how we cut it up, taking one long form piece and turning it into 10, 12, sometimes 15 smaller pieces to kind of satisfy that need. But this is behind the scenes of a show setup. So we're going to go ahead and move on and show a show. Although actually, just let this play a little bit longer, because it shows most of the lighting changes as we set it up. Go ahead and turn it up a little bit.
There we go. Flip that one on for us. All right, looking at each other, guys. That's great. So you see right here, we're getting a nice little separation of the background. It's keyed very well. We have a practical back here, and that's going to be in our wide shot. So we have our camera set up over the shoulder, so over Trevor's shoulder, we're going to see Sarah here. She's the owner of the Space Coast Content Studio. And on this side over here, we have over her shoulder filming Trevor. And we have a really cool wide here on a motion controlled slider. Just giving us a little bit of motion as it goes back and forth. And you guys ready for action? All right, Chad. We're going to go ahead and roll on this, so if you'll excuse us.
I'm here today with the owner of the Space Coast.
Okay, so go ahead and play this one. Just turn it down though.
I'm here with Tom Toronto with My Saitama Journey. Tom, tell us about this project.
There's a couple of different angles to this project.
So this is a long interview. This is about 30 minutes. Yeah, and it's a podcast. So go to the next one. So this is a snippet that we were able to put together of the 8 snippets from this. So there's a long form that goes on YouTube, goes on a website, could be sent out, and then the short ones that are great for social media.
Yeah, just in all reality, you've got to remember that like 97% of all cryptos that are launched, 97% is probably conservative, are going to literally go to zero. So people investing in cryptocurrencies have to understand that it is extremely dangerous if you don't have some idea like who are you dealing with.
Okay. So you'll see there's multiple of those. Play it for a second and then go to the next one.
So what this community is doing is we've got a full-time...
So all these are their own pieces. And then the last thing I'm really going to talk about is just kind of incorporating what looks like more, amateur video as a start, as a primer into a full brand film. So we'll watch the first 15 seconds of this.
Here at the house on the beach, and I gotta get the house painted. Greg is here, Keenan Painting, worked with him in the past. I'm really excited, freshen everything up. It's gonna be amazing. Let's take a look.
I'm Greg Keenan.
Okay, so this is social media, and it starts with what looks like a selfie video, more likely, oh, what's this? It doesn't look like a commercial, and then it goes into more things about the actual brand. So I think the next one is, go ahead and play it for a second. Okay, go ahead and pause it there. Okay, so make sure you go back. I want to introduce Austin, my business partner. We've been shooting weddings and commercials for 10 years now, and needs no introduction. Yeah, it should be on.
Hello, hello. Got a few guys. So what I really want to talk about, Trevor went over it. You got to have some video content. I believe the presentation before us mentioned you got to have some video content. Everybody already knows that. But what are you going to say when you get started? And that's what I want to talk a little bit about. And the number one thing that I see people that are always missing in all their videos is they never, ever want to show any struggle. They never want to show any weakness. They got to pretend like we're the number one floor company. We're the number one painters. We're the number one this. We're the number one that. And that's great. But guess what? Emotionally, I don't give a crap about that. What I want to know is, how did you get where you are? What's difficult about what you do, and how do you overcome that? If I wanted to give a presentation or sell you on a course of how to do public speaking, and I get up here and say, it's so easy, I love getting up here and talking. No. What you want to do is you want to get people like, look, I struggled for a really long time talking in front of people. I never thought I'd get over it, but I want to share with you how I did get to the point where I could get up here comfortably. That's what you got to do, and that's what you got to do with your business, is you got to show the struggle. So I want to play the pipe surgeon a little bit, because one of the few businesses that was willing to listen to that advice, it worked out very well for them. They do talk a little bit about the struggle here, so if you play the pipe surgeons video, it's the next one.
At Pipe Surgeons, we hear from people every day who are experiencing difficulties with their plumbing.
Starting with the difficulties.
And after listening to a million stories about frequent blockages, the one piece of free advice that I can give is don't wait. Pipes can't fix themselves, and the problems only become bigger and more expensive the longer they're ignored.
We occasionally had issues with our
Chat again?
pipes. Eventually we had a handyman come snake the pipes.
That is when all hell broke loose.
I've seen situations where someone thought they were dealing with a simple clog, but didn't know that they were actually dealing with roots interfering with their pipes.
Now if plumbers tell me they're going to have to cut through the floors just to access the pipes, it was a mess.
And then I found pipe surgeons.
Hey, there's Trevor. He doesn't really work for pipe surgeons.
Pipe Surgeons was able to identify the problem on the very first visit. You could see it right there on the camera.
If we had an inspection done sooner, it would have saved us so much time.
As pipe surgeons, we're a family. It has to be that way. What we do isn't easy.
What we do isn't easy. That's what I want to touch on most. If you can go ahead and stop it here. If you make what you do look too easy, it's no wonder at all when people think that they don't need you. There's a lot of DIY out there, and even people can do video, but it's not as easy as we make it look. This stuff takes a lot of thought, and you could slap something up there, and if you're up there saying, hey, we do really great tile, we do really great carpet, we do really great stone, congratulations, you're even with everybody else. How many people have seen the movie Rocky? It was like Best Picture in 1976. You've probably seen it. What do you think makes that movie so interesting? Does anybody have a guess? I'll just fill you in. It's because he was up against really tough odds. If he was beating up a 5-year-old, that'd be a completely different movie. If he didn't have something to fight against. And that's what you want to show. You want to show in your business you have problems that you solve. And hopefully they're not problems that people could just easily solve on their own. It takes experience, it takes time, and it takes a level of expertise that you can provide that the average person can't do, and you need to share that, and you need to share why that's difficult to do. For instance, what is your business? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't see you.
That's okay.
So I connect businesses with finance.
Is it easy?
It is not.
It's not easy. What's difficult about it?
There are so many different lenders and so many different businesses that have different needs that finding the best rates and terms is the difficulty.
Were you good at it on day one?
No.
Tell me what were some of your struggles about it, just quickly?
So quickly understanding the network of lenders and understanding the business's needs and being able to delve down to exactly what they need and exactly what that lender can offer them, that's the difference.
Perfect. So for him, I would start off with that. Like, hey, when I first got into this, it was difficult, and I struggled for a long, long time to get it right. And maybe you don't want to straight out say, I messed some things up, but I didn't serve my clients as effectively as I could have. Now, after 10 years, 20 years in business, we've got this figured out, and we're going to be there to show you the way. We're going to help you. And that's the kind of messaging that I think you need to get. You got to have an arc to it. So again, social media is quick, like, oh, we painted this house, it looks awesome, boom. That's all well and good. You need that. But I think if you guys could sell your stories a little bit more, talk about your struggles, really connect with people, you guys are going to be in a lot better place. I think I'm going to end it there. That's my main takeaway. So if you want to open it up for questions, I'm good with that. Right here.
So when you're first starting out doing your little videos,
my little videos? Come on now. Hold on now. Lady? I'm just kidding.
I just need to know about some software editing. What should I go to buy? I've got a phone. I'm going to upgrade it, get a better camera, and I'm going to post some stuff on Instagram. That Facebook, So I'm using real simple tools. What would you recommend for editing software?
Actually, where I would start off with is I would try to make, with my first things that you're gonna do, I would try to make things you don't need to edit. So I would hit record and say, hey, I'm here, tell me about what you do.
I sell snarky towels, hand towels that are funny, stuff you're not gonna buy. I have an adult line, not something you think of when you think of a kitchen.
And can we see some samples? So no, I'm only kidding. So what I would start with, no, seriously, is I wouldn't edit anything at all. I would turn the phone on, record and be like, hey, I just want to show you this new towel I got. This design's really hilarious. People are going to see this, you're going to laugh a lot. It's available here on my site. Check it out. Boom. No editing required. No, yeah, nothing. Don't need anything. Okay. Now, if you want to get into editing and if you're stuck on the phone, it's going to be pretty tough. If you can take that footage to a computer, it's going to be much easier. You've got free software built into either Windows or Mac. With Mac, it's called Movie Maker. And I think they call it, I don't know what the Windows version is.
Windows is Movie Maker.
Windows is Movie Maker. iMovie, there you go. So those things are things you can use. And there are also some things, like you can use like CapCut. I think you have to pay a subscription. It's pretty much automated. It's kind of like, I think they probably say AI, but it existed long before people were saying AI. But it's got some algorithms where it can kind of take your videos and chop them up. Similar to what Trevor was talking about, we have these long videos where we'll run them through something like that, and that's why we get those little social media clips that you see. So that way when you do pay us for a long form video, you don't just get that. You know, with the pipe surgeons talking about figuring it out, building the team, like that video goes on a little bit about the struggle of finding the right people and all that stuff. Question over here.
So give a price range, you don't have to give it.
Oh yeah, it's like $1 million, just even. So.
The TV level commercial versus what, and I mean very hot, very rough, but just
sure.
give you an idea of where the neighborhood financially is for those type of products.
For that one, I think like a half-day shoot, it could be as much as, it could, depending, like we have options. So if you want a crane, that adds to it. If you want dolly track, it depends how much you want, the level of lighting and the size of the team. We have half days starting around like 1,800, but they can go up to 5,000 to 10,000. It just depends what you want. Do you want, is there a car chase? $1 million wasn't a joke. Like we could do it. Like bust out the checkbook. But no, yeah. So and then for the social media stuff, we've got stuff that we do. Like they're kind of like a community thing where we'll set all the lighting up, and we'll have like 6 or 7 businesses come through to talk about what they do. And if you get on one of those, it can be very affordable, and you get a lot of content because it's like the podcast setup that Trevor showed. And then you get that whole thing. You could release it as just an audio podcast. You can release it on Facebook. You can put it on your website. But then we run it through those softwares like we talked about, where it will make you like a dozen little clips, and you hold them back, release one, a couple days later release another, and you've got this flow of content, which the algorithms really like. They don't want to see just one post. They kind of want to see it go 1, 2, 3, 4 down the line. So you kind of want to keep it going right here.
Okay, so I think Trevor alluded to this a little bit at the beginning.
He alludes. He does. Oh, I'll find a way.
This is an attorney. There's no action shots.
Yeah, this is an attorney, so it's no action in it.
There's a lot of things that I can't show because
regulations. How do we navigate that?
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. So we've worked for Edward Jones. We've worked for other financial firms. What's the other one? Where's Josh Hester work? What is it? Morgan Stanley. So yeah, we worked with couple different people with Edward Jones, actually. Yeah, so obviously we're not finance attorneys. We don't know all that stuff. And a lot of times those things have to get approval. However, what you should understand is if you're working with us, there's never going to be a video that gets posted without you first getting approval. So when we film with you, like you're not going to wake up, turn on Facebook, and there it is, and you never approved it. So when we work with you after the fact, we call it the post-production. We'll make the video. We send it privately to you. You look at it. Maybe you show it to some managers or whatever you have. If you want to go all out, you can have an attorney look at it. And you say, oh, we can't say this. This happens lots of times. We film with attorneys. We film with financial advisors. We give them the first draft of the video. They're like, oh, we shouldn't have said this. the regulatory body says that's not allowed, blah, blah, blah. So we come back, okay, well, let's cut that part out. So that's what you really should understand, is that you're never going to get blindsided by something like that. The video's private until it gets the green light. So if you need to show it to whoever you need to, you said something incorrect, you don't want to get in trouble, or even if you just didn't like, oh, I didn't like how I said that, but when we cut that part out, no problem. Well, we can watch this attorney video, so this is
a good example of a professional services and what the B-roll might be.
My name is Andrew Pickett, and I'm thrilled to announce the addition of our new attorney to the firm, Jessica Hicks. I've observed Jessica in the courtroom for the past 13 years. She's an excellent trial attorney, and she's going to bring a completely new dimension to Andrew Pickett law.
little videos. Come on now.
My name is Jessica Hicks, and I was born and raised in Orlando, Florida. I went to the University of Miami for undergrad.
Okay, so yeah, as you see, no car chases, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, they're talking about what they do. And in this particular video, he wanted to announce that his firm is growing. He's bringing on Jessica Hicks here as a new practicing attorney to the firm. So yeah, not everything's going to be all flash. However, it can look really, really good. It can sound really good and get your message across. And that's why I tell people, it's like all the time, like I see some of these real estate guys out here and ladies that do a really good job where I see them on my Facebook page every day. They're just filming on their phone. It's like, oh, I'm over here at this problem. Like, everyone could do that. It's just like the AI. They say it makes it really easy. Well, these companies have been pumping out tools that are supposed to make it really easy for a long time. However, how many people are really using it? You're still going to end up probably paying somebody to do the AI when you get to that point too, because you're not going to learn it. Most people aren't going to learn it. You're going to do what you do, which is, like for you accounting, you're going to be an accountant. You're not going to be an AI specialist. There's some people that are just super driven and stay up all night long drinking coffee and do this stuff, but most people need help, even when they make the tools really easy. Any other questions? Or did I answer your question? Yes, you.
So my name is John Kiefer. I own Kiefer's Junk Removal here in Brevard. And what would you guys recommend for engaging content? We do a lot on social media. What would you guys recommend for like engaging content?
Well, the first thing I want to see is like a really junked up place. Like, look at this place, right? Like for you, I think that's a kind of an easy question to answer. Like, man, look at this place. Like, show the neighbors, like, this is, what, I can't live next to this. The HOA is freaking out. Like, you got a lot of drama you can show. Like, I'm a roast, baste me. Like, bring it on. Call me. I got tons of ideas for that. Some businesses, like she was saying, that's how do you show accounting? Like, right? You know what I mean? For you, like, geez. Every time you see a disaster, take a picture of that shit. Put that on there. Anything else? Trevor, do you want to take over?
Well, so yes, just one second. So you have to be sensitive to your clients, right? So you don't want to embarrass them, but there's a line to walk there, and there are people who do a good job, especially contractors, that show like this is a big problem, and here we are to fix it. And you just heard about the other people talking about their plumbing, and the wife being the hero, right? So if you can at least give them an arc, as he was saying, and they're a hero at the end, they're more than willing to possibly show what may not shed them in a good light, maybe, but you're gonna have to work with them on that. The more you do it, the more you're known for it, the more it's just gonna be regular. Like, oh, I saw you do this with somebody else I knew, and I saw the end result and it was amazing. And I had the same issue over here, and they're not even gonna question when you came filming. That's literally how they found you, right? So building that brand and that idea in their mind.
We do a lot of our videos through CapCut, like you were saying.
Perfect.
And we just piece them together, and it's super easy to use.
I can imagine a scenario where somebody either inherited a property or a landlord evicted somebody, and the mess isn't really your client's mess. It was left for them, right? So you show that disaster to be sensitive to your client. But yeah, that's why I think with that, it's a visual thing. You can see junk. You can't see accounting. So for her, we got to get a little bit more creative. It might be more difficult. But yeah, for you, like we could really make that look awesome. You probably already made it look awesome using CapCut. What are some of the challenges that you face with that?
Just by using CapCut, you're saying?
No, with your business, like what you do.
So usually with junk removal, it's my uncle's buddy's cousin has a truck and they can haul it away for $100. Whereas trying to get in front of your ideal client that's willing to pay your price as opposed to hiring a cheap guy that's
Sure.
going to dump it on the side of the road.
My friend said he's gonna be helping me paint the wall, but it's been 2 months, right? Like, sure, they talk about it forever, but you'll be there, Johnny on the spot, 7 a.m. Get that hassle out of there. But what's difficult, like, have you ever had a situation where, like, you're trying to remove stuff that maybe somebody else owns a property and somebody's fighting you, like, you can't take this? Like, I'm sure the drama could grow and grow and grow. I think I saw a hand over here. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. So let's say something similar to what he's saying, right? I'm an interior design consultant, and I do all the art interior design. So let's say I see a house that is not necessarily my client, but I just want to produce social media that could use some TLC. Can I just be like, imagine this house, but would I get in trouble because it's not necessarily a client, or I didn't get a permission, but it's not public property because it's outside? Like, where do you draw the line where you can be like spontaneous and fun without maybe providing the address or the name of the owner? Just saying, like, look at this house.
Can you film somebody else's house, like, without? So anything that's visible from the street is legal. Okay. So, like, yeah, I mean, if somebody's walking around out in public, I can take pictures of them all I want. Now, it's probably not the best, I don't want to get into any drama with them. Like, I never would film somebody against their wishes. But if you saw a house and you said, I could do so much for this house if they just called me, the only danger in that is probably not a legal danger. It's probably that maybe that person sees the video and they get upset and then their friends are blasting you on Facebook. That could happen. But from a legal standpoint, I think you're good. But I don't know if I'd want to do it. Yes? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. The girl on the phone here in this one video was stock footage that we shot, but we've used it in several things. In fact, we could sell that to Canva or whatever. Yeah, stock footage, these are all things. Like, when we're editing all the time, it's like, oh, there's a gap here, and the person said one half of the thing I wanted, and then later they said the other half, and they said this big chunk in the middle, I want that out. Well, if I just cut that, you'll see them kind of do like what they call a jump cut. So maybe I just need a shot of hands typing on the keyboard. And rather than get a camera out, type my hands on the keyboard, put it in the video, I'll just go and I'll type in hands on a keyboard from a subscription. I know you still pay for it. But yeah, the danger is if your videos start to be all stock footage, again, who's going to really connect? So we want your face on there. We want to see you. We want to talk about your business. So yeah, stock footage is great. But you don't want to overestimate the power of stock footage because if we don't see you, well, that's who we want to see. Because and just help me out again with what your business is.
I paint murals.
You paint murals, okay. So we got to see those. There's no stock footage of your murals.
Yeah, but I can take an empty wall somewhere and put a mock-up, a digital mock-up.
Oh, okay.
All my skills.
Well, you're ahead of the game. No, that would be, I think, perfect. Stock footage, if whatever we got to do to get the job done. But like I said, it's just like the AI, it's just like everything else. If you're the kind of person that can do it, have at it. If not, if it's going to take time away from your core competency, if you're a painter and you're painting houses and all of a sudden you're spending 20 hours a week trying to manage your social media, you're probably going to start losing money when you could have just paid somebody to do some of this stuff. You're an artist. So you are the kind of person you're good. You're set.
I don't have time for videos.
But that's where we come in. Yes.
Question. So do you have some kind of date that you invite businesses, you do the setup and you promote because it's so much more cost efficient?
Yeah.
For example, the TV say, hey, we're gonna do a commercial for you, just $3,500, and okay, that's a good price, but not right now.
Sure.
If I'm a photographer, so if I do one day headshot, it's going to be so much cost effective for the businesses.
That's right.
Because it's going to be cheaper for me. I do the setup. Do something like that in a podcast studio for the businesses to show up and do a little bit of footage.
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, we do. That's what I was telling about kind of the community thing where we set it up and have a bunch of people come to them. There's not a date that's set. Yeah, we'll be doing one in June, so it's limited. I'll only be able to get in maybe 9 or 10 people. So if you want to do that, get with us quick because that will fill up. If we have a lot of demand, we'll do it again. Yes?
What is the main channel that you promote your services?
We promote them on all the services. So we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on everything.
I never saw you before, so I'm a local business.
Well, it's mostly email. I would say mostly it's by email.
Yeah, well, and the other thing you got to think about with us is we're spending most of our time promoting other people's business. Right, so when we get slow, you'll see us more. We'll start to pop up posting, but most of our time is spent Like we're pumping out the carpet guys, we're pumping up all these other businesses. So when we're busy, we don't have to. When we're slow, then you'll start to see us pushing more and more. Think we're good? All right.
We got a couple more minutes. If you could exit out of that real quick and just put up the email address. It should be at the very bottom or near the very bottom. Hit escape. There you go. And it should be on the very bottom. Just scroll down there. So yes, we send that invite out to our current clients, but I can try to get you guys more on that list. Yep, there you go.
One right before this, Brian.
No, don't click on that.
One right before this. Go ahead. There we go.
Hit play, hit play. Do you see the play button? There we go. So that is my email address. Go ahead and write that down. If you email me, ask for two things. Ask for those sheets that are fillable so that you can start to put together your own stories and narrative. And then you can also email me and say, hey, when is the next time you guys are doing the group shoot? So we do usually sometimes two different types of group shoots. Some where it's a one-sided interview and you're just talking about your business. Sometimes we can even set up a teleprompter. And then the other one is the show setup where it's more elaborate. Sometimes I'm the host, sometimes other people are the host, depending on what the business is. And for the wedding industry, we have our own show called Wedding Wisdom, where we bring in different people, different vendors, DJs and caterers and venue owners and bridal shops. So email me and you can get that information. And I think that is everything. So if you go backwards, go to the left, and then now go to the right. Okay, skip past this. I don't know what I put this together for. Well, he wanted to see it, and I think I made this for a different presentation. These are my children. Okay. Keep going here, yeah.
I wanted to also.
So we also do some sports photography, and then yay, there I am. So.
I also wanted to point out that a large portion of every video we do, the proceeds go to feeding that hungry family over at Trevor's house.
It's a good cause.
It's a good cause.
All right, we're going to call it there. If you need cards, they're going to be somewhere. They're black and red and white. And thank you, everybody.